something that you'll always remember. I can give you all the facts about business. I can give you all the facts about leadership. But this story I'm about to tell you, it'll always stay with you because it always stayed with me when I learned it. And like I said again, the name of the story is called The Lumberjack Story. All right? The story goes like this. There was this guy who had just moved out to a new city. And he was looking for a job. Okay? He was looking for a job in his profession, which is a lumberjack. And he went to get a job at this location, but they weren't hiring. He said, hey, I'm a lumberjack. I've been a lumberjack now for over 10 years. This is how I feed my family. I just moved in, and I want to be able to get a job at this location. The boss at the job said, hey, we're not hiring right now, so we don't need you. The guy said, who is your strongest lumberjack? I bet you I can cut down more trees than this guy. And the boss looked at me, he was like, there's no way, you're skinny. You don't look like you're that strong. Yeah, you have some experience, but there's no way that you're gonna be able to cut down more trees than my strongest lumberjack. He was like, I'll tell you what, if I cut down more trees than your lumberjack, you gotta give me a job. And the boss looked at me, he was like, are you serious? He was like, yes, if tomorrow I show up and I cut down more trees than your strongest lumberjack, will you give me a job? And the boss was like, you have some balls, but I'm gonna give it to you. Okay, be here tomorrow at this time, 9 a.m., and I'm gonna put you up against my strongest lumberjack. So the next day, the guy shows up, and he goes up against the guy's strongest lumberjack. They work from 9 to 12. Whoever can cut down the most trees from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. lunchtime. Funny part of the story is, the skinny lumberjack wins the first day. The strong lumberjack can't even believe that he just lost to this guy. He's frustrated, he's mad. He was like, there's no way that this guy beat me. He's skinny, there's no way that he was able to cut down more trees than me. He cheated, there is no possible way that this skinny lumberjack was able to beat me, who's a strong, muscled up guy that has done so much over the last couple of years. So the boss was like, the boss actually believed the guy. He was like, you know what? I don't believe it either. You probably cheated. You did probably cheat. So what they did was like, you know what, we're gonna do it again tomorrow, but this time we're gonna watch you. We're gonna watch you this time. And again, the lumberjack won. The skinny lumberjack wins. Again, back-to-back days, he wins. And the strong lumberjack can't believe it, the boss can't believe it. What they ended up doing was they ended up following the skinny lumberjack home because they wanted to see what he was doing behind closed doors. You see, the difference between the strong lumberjack and the skinny lumberjack was that the strong lumberjack, he would get home, he would drink a beer and watch TV and go to bed. The skinny lumberjack would go home and he would spend 3 hours sharpening his axe. Right? Listen to the story, it's very important. Listen to the difference. The strong lumberjack got home, he had a beer, watched TV, went to bed. The skinny lumberjack would go in his garage and spend 3 hours sharpening his axe. So when it was time to cut down trees, it was easy for him because he was knocking them down on just a couple hacks. Now, when I talk about an axe, what do you guys think I'm representing with that? Your mind. And that's what this training is about. It all comes down to how you sharpen your axe every single day, which is your mind. And what do you guys think the trees represent? Challenges, obstacles, and the things that happen in life. You see, you can be strong, you can think that you're this big, mighty person, but at the end of the day, if your mind is not in the right place, you won't be able to overcome the challenges that life and this business will throw at you. You see, when I started this business, I was the strong lumberjack. I was the big ego guy. You know what? I can do this. I can go chairman. I can stay home and I can drink and I can hang out with my friends and I can smoke and I don't have to watch Go Live and I didn't have to do any of these things. I didn't have to read books. I didn't have to listen to audios. And guess what? At the end of the day, I wasn't really getting the results that I wanted. The moment my life changed was when I started to sharpen my axe 2 to 3 hours every single day. Because you see, what people don't understand is that what's gonna set you apart from everybody that's here is who sharpens their axe the most every single day, right? It's your mind that's gonna get you through this because you gotta rewire this mindset so that you can make it in this business. The person that you signed up as when you signed up for this company is not the person that's gonna help you become successful. You literally have to become a completely different new person. It was what I was talking about yesterday on stage. You have to let the old you die so that the new you can be born. The old person that you showed up at this event has to die. You cannot go back home and do the same things over and over and over again because you're gonna stay the same. You gotta go home now and you gotta sharpen your axe. Every single day, it has to be a priority. If there's anything that you guys get from what I say here to you guys today, sharpen your axe when you get home. Because guess what? Life is gonna throw challenges at you maybe the moment you get home. As a matter of fact, some of you guys got challenges waiting for you at home when you land on Monday. You may have challenges that are gonna hit you in October, in November, in December, but it's all gonna come down to how sharp your axe is. You see, me, challenges don't affect me anymore. Obstacles, they don't faze me anymore. My mind is sharp. I've been working on my mind for the last 5 years. Every single day, I've read over 100 books. I've listened to thousands of hours of audios and podcasts. This is my 11th convention. I've invested in so many different events. But you know why I do that? Because this is all to sharpen my axe. I'm taking notes. I'm asking questions. I'm learning from different people. You know why? Because that's all part of sharpening your axe. And that's something that a lot of people don't do in this business. I started with thousands and thousands have left. You know why? Because out of the thousands that I started with, I was the only one person that focused on sharpening my axe. Everybody wanted to go all in on trading. Everybody wanted to go all in on building the business. You know who I went all in on? I went all in on myself. And because I went all in on myself, trading became easy. Building the business became easy. You know why? Because when you go all in on yourself, your confidence goes up. Your belief goes up. So now talking to people about your business is easy. When you go all in on yourself, it's easy to trade now. You know why? Because you're more disciplined, your emotional intelligence is better, you're getting results. And guess what? You start getting results, it's easier to share that with people. So a lot of us, sometimes we want to go in all of these different places, but we forget that in order for us to help others, we got to help ourselves. And this is something that if you guys don't do it, you won't be able to make it in this business. Unfortunately. Because that's what it takes. It takes you to rewire yourself as a person every single day. Raise your hand if you shower every day. Keep your hand raised if you brush your teeth every day.
Twice.
Keep your hand raised if you eat every day. Now, keep your hand raised if you work on yourself 7 days a week. And be honest. 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday. You work on yourself, you take 2 hours every day. You see how many hands went down? The hands that went down, that's the problem. The ones that didn't even raise their hands, that's the problem. That's the problem right there. It's not the company. It's not your upline. It's not your mentor. It's not that the compensation plan doesn't work. It's not that the Go Live educators are not getting results. It's not any of that. It's you. And when I finally realized that it was me that was holding myself back, that's when everything changed for me. I was just having a conversation with one of my guys on the way out, and I was telling him, I was like, yo, the moment everything changed for me, like, yo, Neno, what was your clicking moment? When did you know that everything changed for you? I was like, when I realized that I was focused on everything else but myself. I was focused on the business. I was focused on trading. I was focused on how I was going to hit a rank. I was focused on everything else but me. And when I started to focus on me, everything else changed. Right? Thank you. So you got to remember that. Every day there has to be a time in your day where you're spending time with yourself. No phones, no distractions, no emails, no Instagrams, no text messages, no FaceTime. Just you yourself, spending time growing yourself, reading books, listening to audios, reviewing all the notes that you guys took this weekend, doing meditations, doing things that are going to help you become better. Okay, because that's what's going to help you build your business. That's what's going to help you become a better trader. That's what's going to help you build your e-com stores and be able to do that. That's what changed me. 4 years ago, I made a decision. You know what? I'm going to start doing mornings with Neno. I'm going to wake up every day at 9 a.m. And I'm going to wake up every day at 6 a.m. From 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., I'm going to work on myself. And then at 9 a.m., I'm going to do mornings with Neno. And I used to do that every day. And still to this day, for 4 years, I've been doing that. And you know why I did it? Because I needed something to hold me accountable. Because I said, yo, if everybody's going to be waiting for me at 9 o'clock to pour into them, I got to pour into myself from 6 to 9 because I can't show up on that call with an empty cup. I got to show up to that call with a full cup, right? And a lot of us, what we tend to do is We try to help people on our team, but we're empty. We try to take actions, but we're empty. We try to think that we can accomplish these things, but we don't have no belief because we haven't even been working on ourselves. You haven't even changed your self-image. You got to change the image that you have of yourself before you can believe that you can accomplish the things that are actually going to happen in life. But the only way you can do that is by the daily work. Alex Morin talks about this almost, I bet you $100, 100 euros, whatever amount of money you guys, that he talks about that tomorrow on his speech. Talking about rewiring your mind. 1,000% he's going to talk about that. He always talks about it because that is the key. Everything that I'm telling you guys is things that I've learned from Alex Moore, from Matt Rosa, from Jason Brown, from even ISIS was talking about that today. Working on you, becoming a better version of you, increasing your level of belief, right? Because remember, your income is a direct reflection of your belief level. So however much money you have, your income is a reflection of your belief level. So however much you believe in yourself is literally in a exact alignment with how much money you make. So you got to remember, guys, keep this in mind before you go home. The lumberjack story. If I want to be able to cut down the trees and the challenges, I got to sharpen my mind. The people that don't sharpen their minds, you know what happens? Those trees come and they can never overcome the challenges. You can't overcome the challenges, you know what happens? You end up quitting. Because you're like, yo, this tree is too hard to cut down. I don't know if I'm going to be able to cut down this tree. And if I can't cut down this tree, there's no way I'm going to cut down the next tree. And what ends up happening is 97% of people quit. 97% of people quit because they can't cut down the trees. You know why? Because they were focused on all the wrong things instead of focusing on themselves and sharpening their axe, guys. I can tell you guys from experience, this is one of the most valuable messages that you guys will ever receive. One of the most valuable messages you guys will ever receive is to take time to sharpen your axe every single day. You know why? Because there's going to be more bad days than there is good days. There's going to be more trees in this path than you would ever imagine. You know why? Because when you come from the bottom, you got to fight the most. When you come from the bottom, when you start from nothing and you got to work your way out of it, there's going to be the most trees in that path. And if your mind isn't sharp enough to break through all of that, you'll be stuck a lot, and you'll be stuck in the same places a lot. Raise your hand if you're going through any challenges right now. I'll put both of my hands up. Right? Everybody's going through some challenges, right? But you see the difference is my mind is sharp and I'm ready to attack these challenges. Right? And that's the key. Everyone here is going through different challenges, but is your mind sharp enough to make it through this challenge? Have you been working on yourself enough to make it through this challenge? Or have you been allowing this challenge to get the best of you? Because that's it. After this event, like I said, it's either you choose to feed the old you again and go back to your old ways, or you're going to choose to be the new you. Who's the new version of you that you're going to feed when you go home? Make it a routine to work on yourself every single day. And everything else will start falling into place naturally. Dedicate the next 90 days. Last thing I'm going to say is this. From now to the end of the year, or from now till, you know what, so we go to Budapest is where we're going? Budapest. Make a commitment. Yo, from this convention to next convention, I'm going to make it a priority. Everybody here said, when I ask you guys, if you shower every day, everybody raise their hand. When I ask you if you brush your teeth, you guys raise your hand. If I ask you if you eat every day, everybody raise their hand. The same way you raise your hand for all of that, I want to be able to ask you guys, yo, did you work on yourself every day? I want everybody's hands to go up as well.
Yes, sir.
Woo! Woo!